25 men in a single night. The number hangs like hot iron in foul air. A red door opens. The Subura exhales. Sour wine, rancid oil, urine, smoke. A stained cot. Clay lamps. Walls daubed with fawns that grin without teeth. The winner is no nameless drudge. She is Valeria Messalina, Empress of Rome, wife of Claudius, mother of the heir. Here she is not Augusta. Here she answers to the bite of a street name. She-wolf. She is not hunting pleasure. She is hunting a border. The Palatine is a polished cage. Claudius tallies grain, signs edicts, counts men and oxen. He adores her like a statue, not like flesh. She means to prove the opposite, that she can still bleed, that divinity can be scraped down to nerve. The stage is not a salon, but a lupanar. Low beds, damp rushes, wooden cups, garum salted into the air. Her rival has a name worth money. Scylla, queen of this cellar. Forearms mapped with pale scars, eyes that charge before they speak. She laughs once and nods. The rule is simple. Doors shut, water by sips. Witnesses enough that the tale will walk at dawn. Wide shot. Alleyways narrow as throats. Soldiers drunk and betting. Laughter worn to threads. Close up. A cheap yellow wig on a perfect face. Coarse wool that scratches. A bracelet hidden in a knot for bribes. Musicians wheeze on oloi. A drunk invokes Venus in a rusted voice. Inside the counting begins. 1, 2, 5, 10. Slaves flip linens like standards. A stylus bites wax. The number climbs without poetry. This is not lust. This is administration of the body. Breath through the nose. Rhythm held. Endurance measured. Humiliation is calibrated. Rigor holds its place. Juvenal will set the picture in Satire 6. The Empress, masked and renamed, outlasting the brothel until the keeper dismisses the clients at dawn. Satire is not a court record. Rome credits it because the scene fits its politics. Tacitus will mount the heavier charge elsewhere. Silius, a public marriage. Treason in daylight. Tonight is the preface. The logic is the same. Rank is cloth. Cloth can be torn and re-sewn at will. 23, 24, 25. Scylla sags with her jaw locked. The she-wolf does not smile. She makes the dry gesture of a tradesman who closes a book. Outside, the district yawns. Up the hill, Claudius hunches over papyrus and loses the one tally that matters. At first light, a small cart climbs greasy stones. The driver skirts black puddles. The city sleeps through a slight shift in gravity. Cut to marble, bronze basins, a silver mirror. Milk warms in a bowl. The Empress is statue again, but a pulse stamps her throat. On the lip of the laver, a drop falls like a seal. Why? Because absolute power is a padded room. Ceremony numbs. Safety throttles appetite. She chooses dissent to feel danger, draw breath against her skin. She buys one night without power to prove she still owns a body. Do not call it a romp. Call it governance by other tools. She turns flesh into edict. Profanation as argument, risk as consecration. Rome understands because Rome worships spectacle. Rome forgets because Rome breathes fear. What remains is a figure, repeated like a dirty psalm. What clings is the smell, glued to stone like mold, and the rule that outlives both number and odor. When power stops feeling, it purchases sensation on credit. In Rome, the bill arrives with names, and it is paid in blood. Year 48. Before stench, the mirror. Polished silver. A face too perfect to be human looks back. Breath fogs the rim. She decides not to escape, to descend. Freedom in Rome isn't breaking chains. It's putting them on by will. The chamber is a wardrobe of lies. Maids move like priests. They do not dress an empress. They unmake one. The wig first, cheap yellow, the color of stale straw, then coarse wool, scratchy at the shoulder. No pearls, no border of purple. Sandals with tired straps. The perfume changes. Nard and myrrh buried under rancid oil. A bracelet vanishes into a knotted hem for bribes. Valeria Messalina becomes a street name. She-wolf, not costume, exorcism. Wide shot, palatine corridors, cold marble biting bare feet. Close up, doors that open at a whisper. The Imperial freedmen, Narcissus Palace, look away as if at a funeral they have been paid. The guard rotates watch with the precision of a mill. A plain cart waits in a service court. No livery, no herald. Rome sleeps just enough to belong to no one. The Subura owns the night. Dog barks, a tavern brawl, a lute with 2 strings left. The air is blended punishment, sour wine, smoke, urine, garum. She steps down, a queen without name. No one hunts an empress in a lane that stinks of the gutter. She lays that bed. So does the empire. Rigor of blood, Julio-Claudian stock, great-granddaughter of Octavia's line, niece to Gaius. She watched Caligula make a god of himself and a priest of a horse. Excess is not novelty to her. It is grammar. She married Claudius as a girl and learned the city's first rule. Veneer is policy. He loves like a collector. Kindly, painfully, to a fault she despises like a strategist. Quickly, neatly, to a purpose. Between them, the state breathes on its own. The brothel of Scylla is not a court. It is a counter. Low beds, damp rushes, clay lamps smutting the ceiling, walls painted with toothless fawns. Scylla weighs her with the eye of trade. Old scars, steady jaw, no fear. She smells coin. The wager is taken. Doors bar. Witnesses count. Water rationed to sips. The rumor already has a birth certificate. Why this? Not lust. Engineering. Purple is anesthesia. Ceremony dulls the nerve. The she-wolf chases friction. To feel danger, press its palm along her ribs. To learn whether she is carcass or command when no one fears her frown. To become object, not origin, and measure what remains. The sources move in parallel. Juvenal will sketch the night in Satire 6. The masked Augusta outlasts a house of hire and returns at dawn to wash in milk slander? Perhaps. But the scene fits Rome's appetite for moral math. Tacitus will place the true indictment elsewhere. Silius, the public wedding, daylight treason, Annals 11. The descent here is prologue. The principle is continuous. Rank is cloth. Cloth tears. Cloth mends. Cloth proves nothing. The cart waits in shadow. A drunk soldier hymns Venus to the wrong key. A boy runs past with hard bread and no time. She crosses the threshold and inhales. The body becomes a ledger. Pace, breath, endurance. Names fall away. Pulse remains. Up the coast, Claudius bends over tallies in Ostia, counting sacks and ships, believing numbers master fate. Down here, his wife counts risk and calls it life. This is not a fall. It is a chosen gradient. And every chosen gradient in Rome ends in geometry. A line that narrows, a door that shuts, a debt that ripens power that cannot feel buys sensation. In the Subura, all purchases clear twice. First in coin, then in blood. Marble breathes cold above the city. In a study lined with scrolls, the emperor counts. Not conquests, columns. Grain tallies from Egypt. Ship manifests at Ostia petitions with broken seals. He is Tiberius Claudius Caesar, scholar first, ruler by accident, voice snagging on consonants. The family's fool that history misfiled Rome learns another math. A stammer can write straight lines. Wide shot, the Palatine office. Bronze lamps, wax tablets stacked like bricks, maps pinned with bone needles. Close up, a hand stained with ink, the nail chipped from prying a seal. His ring flashes, not as a threat, but as a weight. He signs, pauses, corrects a name. He prefers verbs to trumpets. He prefers systems to scenes. Rigor moves in step. Suetonius lists the man, lame gait, uncertain tongue, certain pen, divus Claudius. Cassius Dio names the works, a new harbor cut for Rome's belly, the port of Ostia begun in his early years, aqueducts raised, the Aqua Claudia and Anio Novus, to bridle thirst, Dio 60. Tacitus shows the courtroom emperor, writing law with case and precedent, Annals 11. He repairs by paperwork. He conquers by schedule. He collects more than amphorae and edicts. He collects people, freedmen with exact minds and blunt loyalties. Narcissus, Pallas, Callistus, oiled into the machine where senators jam, they draft, stamp, deliver. Old blood sneers at ex-slaves holding keys. The keys turn anyway. Pay the guard on time. The guard believes. Quiet the river traffic. The baker believes publish rescripts. The provinces believe. Government, like water, obeys the channel. The house is quieter than the city. It is not safer. He has made himself a cage of order. The bars are routine. He reads at set hours. He eats at set hours. He hears cases at set hours. He believes habit can fence back chaos. It works until habit meets will. Messalina is will. She glides through the corridor as if the floor were hers, because it is. She is 23, pulse quick, eyes that measure as they shine. He loves her like a collector loves a perfect piece, displayed, guarded, dusted by trusted hands. He thinks this is safety. It is stasis. Statues crack from the inside. He signs what must be signed. Morals, a censor's zeal rehearsed before the office itself. Marriage laws sharpened, guardianship tidied, names policed. Bread, grain fleets counted and sped. Ostia inspected for silt and fraud. Water, arches marching toward Rome. Stone learning to carry rivers. Soldiers, donatives paced and recorded. He chooses the state's arteries and keeps them clear. The people do not cheer arteries, they cheer blood. He knows the Senate's face. Old men in purple borders practicing surprise and loyalty. Younger men practicing both in a mirror. He indulges their theater because he prefers it to murder. He signs death when process reaches its last page, not when dinner grows dull. He believes this is virtue. It is method. The cage holds until it doesn't. Rumor swims through it like fish through lattice. A whispered Silius. A wedding that should be impossible taking shape in daylit rooms. Files go missing and reappear too neat. A name scratched out. Another inked in. Narcissus's handwriting stiffens. Pallas stops blinking. The emperor keeps counting sacks of wheat and misses the subtraction at his elbow. Rigor again. Tacitus will say the marriage was public. Contracts sealed. Juvenal will paint the brothel night with poison. Dio will balance totals with bodies. All three agree on the geometry. A careful man in a careful cage, measuring the city while the city measures him. He is a statue that signs and a collector that catalogs. He calls it governance. It looks like safety. It feels like sleep. Outside, the Subura learns to shout her new name. Inside, the ink dries. A system hums. A hinge waits. And the door that opens will not creak. It will break. Rome pretends that power is marble. In truth, it is blood. Thin, anxious, hereditary. Messalina breathes it like air. She is not a miracle of rise. She is a diagram. Valeria Messalina, daughter of Domitia Lepida the Younger, and Marcus Valerius Messala Barbatus, great-granddaughter through Octavia's line of the house that made empire a family craft. The cradle came padded with precedent. Wide shot, the Julio-Claudian tree, 2 trunks spliced by marriage, adoption, and murder. The Julii promise divinity through Venus and Caesar. The Claudii bring old iron and older law between them. Livia, cold geometry. Augustus, patient arithmetic. Tiberius, a soldier who learned to breathe on Capri. Germanicus, the golden branch snapped early. Agrippina the Elder and then the Younger, will distilled. Gaius Caligula, theater with knives. At last Claudius, the archivist mistaken for furniture until swords chose him. Messalina grows inside this lattice like ivy inside a ruin. The shape is already set. Close up, the house's grammar. Adoption is policy, marriage a treaty, motherhood a lever, a name can be revoked, a memory condemned. Damnatio memoriae is not an event, it is a habit. The family eats its mistakes and calls it piety. Rigor walks beside us. Suetonius writes the catalogue of vices, Tiberius on Capri, Caligula in costume, Claudius at table, a ledger of appetites and punishments. Tacitus supplies the bone. Motives, factions, the Senate's staged virtue and real fear, annals. Dio totals the sums, donatives paid, heads rolled, provinces added, governance as arithmetic, their angles differ, their outline matches. The dynasty manufactures extremes and survives them until it doesn't. Excess is not a deviation, it is a tool. Augustus cleansed the Civil War floor and then perfumes the room. Moral laws, marriage penalties, a public face of restraint. The private house learns the lesson backwards, control outward, indulgence inward. Tiberius, precise and efficient, retires to Capri and lets a minister, Sejanus, test the load-bearing walls. The purge becomes governance. Caligula rips the veil and turns doctrine into skit. Gods beheaded and refitted with his profile. War on serf, a horse lifted toward office. The city calls it madness. It functions like policy, obedience measured by absurdity. Claudius returns to rules and paperwork, builds aqueducts and a harbor, and thinks structure will cauterize appetite. The appetite waits. Messalina inherits both styles. The mask of Augustan virtue, weddings, fertility, a young mother of an heir. The method of Caligulan theater, humiliation as instrument, pageant as test. When she converts the palace into a private market of bodies, it is not merely lust, it is the family's dialect spoken with a new accent. When she descends to the Subura, she does not betray her house. She performs it, power inverted to prove itself unanswerable. The dynasty teaches other rules. Proximity is oxygen, delay is death. A freedman who opens the right door breathes. A cousin who blinks dies. The guard defines reality with its pay. The Senate reads the room and signs after the fact. Children are hostages to the future. Mothers are engines. A wedding can be treason. A dinner can be trial. A rumor can be sentence. Messalina is 23 and bored because the system works for her too well. She tries the only lever the house respects. Risk, not the soldier's risk. The domestic kind, where law and flesh exchange places. She will discover the other hereditary law. The machine keeps score, even when no court sits. Blood remembers. Cut to the Palatine at dusk. Purple awnings, quiet corridors. A clerk stylus ticking like a metronome. The dynasty hums. Adoptions drafted, alliances braided, names rehearsed for coin below. The Subura steams. Above, Claudius edits. Between floors, a truth older than Rome. Thrones crack, but habits endure. And in this family, excess is not a storm. It is for climate. The treasury breathes thin. Games, donatives, harbor works. Silver drains like a wound that won't close. The cure is not reform. It is invention. She invents a market. Wide shot, the Palatine at dusk. Torches guttering, pavements warm with the day's heat. Myrrh masking sweat. Close up, a doorway hung with purple, once a sign of office. Tonight, a lure. Inside, low couches, dolphin-spouted lamps, a table for accounts, a bowl for coins. The Augusta does not staff this house with slave girls from Syria. She calls Roman matrons and freeborn youths by name. Lineage enters where prices are set. The crier moves through the forum like a recruiter. Invitations that are orders. Husbands learn to usher, fathers to keep their eyes on the floor. A senator who once assigned provinces now escorts his daughter past a curtain and counts heartbeats. The Praetorian on the threshold does not blink. Hierarchy reverses without a speech. Patrician becomes property. Property becomes coin. Coin becomes spectacle. Rigor stands in the doorway. Juvenal sneers it in Satire 6. Messalina, queen of the night, slipping from the palace to the brothel and back at dawn slander. Yes, and Rome's favorite kind, precise in props and smells. Tacitus is colder, Annals 11. Not a price list, but patterns. Forced adulteries, public shamelessness, the palace as instrument. Suetonius supplies the clerk's chill, names confiscations, the way private vice becomes revenue. The sources disagree on measure, not on intent. The intent smells of oil and shame. The room functions like an office. Scribes sit with wax tablets, styluses ready. A client gives his name and pays. A scratch on wax. A curtain parts. A woman goes in as domus and comes out as a count. Sometimes the Empress watches from the rear alcove, veil lowered, pulse steady. When the chest grows light, she nods. The crier goes out again. Bread, wine, and seizure became policy at banquets. Now policy sells flesh. The detail that sticks is purple. In temples, it belongs to gods. In triumphs, to victory. On this door, it means a curtain. No one may refuse. Linen rustles. Bracelets click. Someone laughs too brightly. The lexicon is domestic. Comb, pin, sandal. But the logic is military. Conquest by tariff. Surrender by receipt. She justifies the outrage with 2 altars. Funds for the gods, she says, and lays a portion before her own divinity. Funds for the fleet, and sailors cheer when paid in coin that smells faintly of civic religion and logistics, fed by one harvest. The city learns faster than it protests. Men who paid at the purple door carry silence like debt. Women march through it, learn a new arithmetic of safety, proximity to power or ruin. The husband returns home with a face of plaster and a house suddenly smaller. The steward waits for messengers at dawn. The wife bathes until the water cools, scrubbing the smell of policy from her hair. In a study nearby, Claudius signs a rescript about grain weights and thinks he governs by measure. He does. He does not measure this. Rigor again. Call the brothel continuous, or a burst of policy. Call the tales poisoned by satire. Call the numbers suspect. The moral geometry remains. When a state converts honor, wife-daughter domus, into a unit of revenue, conversion sticks. What can be priced can be repriced. What can be tallied can be seized. The chests fill. The lamps burn low. Outside, the hill goes quiet. Inside, Rome learns an old fact with a new face. When rulers run out of money, they spend the people, and these debts are collected in bodies before they are written in books. Beauty becomes a verdict. He is Gaius Silius, consul designate, the handsomest man in Rome, if you trust the street and the sources. A jaw carved for coinage, a stride that reads as promise. He is also a sentence waiting for ink. Messalina writes it with her pulse. Wide shot, the Palatine in noon light, porches white, shadows black. Close up, Silius summoned through doors that swallow senators. He hesitates because intelligence isn't courage, and courage isn't suicide. She does not hesitate. The Augusta treats him as a fact. He will learn how facts die. Rigor stands behind the curtain. Tacitus lays the bones. Annals 11. Not rumor, but adulterium in publico. A liaison dragged into daylight. Then the unthinkable, matrimonium while Claudius lives. Suetonius adds the clerk's chill. Dio totals costs and corpses. The angles differ. The outline is iron. Choice, dressed as doom. She rehearses him like an actor. Gifts first. Ancestral plate removed from Claudius's cupboards as if cupboards were clouds. Heirlooms pressed into Silius's hands until gratitude feels like shackles. Then Junia Silana, his wife, dismissed by order, forced into daylight divorce as if shame were incense. The city gathers its breath. A consul designate unmarrying at a nod. A house unroofed by a glance. He resists like a soldier in parade. By form, not by flight. Refusal is treason. Consent is treason. He chooses the clean geometry. Die for the Empress, not against her. He moves into rooms that smell of myrrh and verdicts. His name begins to sound like a password. The day arrives. Not corridor wedding, not whisper, broad daylight. On the Pincian Hill, a villa blooms with noise. Flutes, garlands, couches dressed like altars. Silius wears a groom's ring. Messalina wears the flammeum, saffron veil that makes wives of citizens and mothers of futures. Hands join. Words said, witnesses enough to break the city's spine. A dotarium instrumentum is set to wax. Dowry written as if destiny obeyed styluses. Rigor again. Tacitus names the hour and the hubris. The ceremony offered to the crowd like meat. The act is not merely lust. It is policy by theater. A test of all frames at once. Senate, guard, freedman, rumor. If Rome swallows this, nothing has edges. Cut to Ostia. Claudius among ropes and grain scales, counting Rome's bread with a clerk's devotion. He is the empire's stomach and thinks that is enough. Narcissus races there with witnesses. Calpurnia, Cleopatra, the only voices that can pierce denial. She has married, they say. The emperor's mouth fails on the word. He becomes what he fears. A man with no sentence left. Back at the villa, the music stalls. A centurion steps in, dust white on bronze. 3 words like a verdict. The emperor knows. Cups clatter. The brave flee first. Windows learn new uses. Silius turns to the forum, to law, to rank. None answer. Rank is cloth. Cloth burns. Why Silius? Because appearance is argument in this city. Claudius is competent and bent. Silius is beautiful and straight-backed. Messalina tries a dynasty's oldest lever. Swap the face. Keep the machine. She reads the crowd correctly and the system fatally. Crowds cheer beauty. Systems pay steel. Night. The castra breathes like a forge. Donatives promised, lists opened. Silius, groomed for an hour, becomes defendant without trial. He asks for a short death because some requests still fit the ledger. The answer is yes. Arithmetic can be merciful when it is sure. The moral is colder than scandal. Messalina believed power could crown desire if desire looked like Rome. Silius believed consent could shield him if consent wore purple. Both mistook theater for structure. Structure wins. It always does, until it doesn't. And by the time it doesn't, the beautiful are already counted. Noonlight cuts Rome like a blade. On the Pincian Hill a villa hums, flutes, garlands, saffron veils, and polished rings. This is not rumor in a corridor. This is wedding under the sun, with witnesses enough to break a city. The bride wears the flammeum, the saffron that makes wives. The groom is Gaius Silius, consul designate, handsome as a coin. The husband, Claudius, still lives. The math refuses sense. The scene proceeds anyway. Wide shot, couches dressed like altars, tables heavy with honeyed wine, a doorway flanked by laurel. Close up, hands joined, the formula spoken, a stylus cutting a dotarium instrumentum into wax, a legal dowry for an illegal union. Guests sip and stare, some blanch, none intervene. Theater overrules oath, rigor sets the frame. Tacitus will say it plain, Annals 11. Adulterium in publico hardened into matrimonium. Daylight treason with contract and crowd. Suetonius will tally names and aftermath. Dio will count bodies and bribes. The angles differ. The hinge is fixed. Public is the point. She tests every strut at once. Senate, guard, freedmen, rumor. If this stands, nothing else needs to. Why daylight? Because spectacle is a solvent. Night breeds denial. Noon breeds surrender. Messalina believes the machine that always bends to accomplished facts will bend again. She misreads one variable, self-preservation in men who hold the levers, freedmen who fattened on her vices. Narcissus, Pallas, Callistus smell a purge coming for them if Silius sits. Complicity is safe only while it pays. Today it invoices danger. Cut to Ostia, ropes, grain scales, gulls. Claudius, bent over manifests, secures bread for the city. The emperor governs like a quartermaster and imagines it is enough Narcissus arrives not with parchment, but with voices. Calpurnia and Cleopatra, concubines who speak to the fear behind his ribs. She has married. The word snags on his tongue, and tears something behind the eyes he does not order. He is ordered back to Rome now. Back at the villa the music sours. A centurion appears dusty to the knees. The emperor knows. Cups strike stone. Windows discover use. Loyalty evaporates faster than wine. Silius runs to the forum, reaches for law, for rank, for that old geometry of office. Rank is cloth. Cloth burns. The Castra Praetoria becomes a counting house. Promises laid in neat stacks. Donatives pledged. Prefects courted. The guard decides because the guard always does. Silius, groom by noon, prisoner by dusk, asks for the short death and receives it. Arithmetic is swift when it is sure. What changed at the wedding is not just a status. It is the grammar of fear. Until noon, Messalina's empire was private. Bedrooms, threats, purple curtains. After noon, it is a banner in the street. Men who could ignore whispers cannot ignore a contract with witnesses. Senators calculate. Freedmen choose. The crowd learns how quickly courage curdles. Rigor again. The sources diverge on numbers, not on direction. Arrests spin from the castra. Lists flower like weeds. House is empty before nightfall. The point of no return is not the kiss. It is the wax. That scratched tablet that turns desire into policy and drags Rome with it. Close. The sun buckles toward evening. The laurel droops. The veil lies folded like a flayed skin. Messalina mistook applause for assent and beauty for mandate. She thought daylight would sanctify. It only illuminated. When a state lives by spectacle, proof is a stage, and some proofs, once given, cannot be taken back. Ostia smells of tar and wet rope. Gulls wheel, grain scales creak. Claudius bends over, manifests like a clerk who became king by accident. He counts sacks and ships and believes bread is peace. Behind him, a freedman runs with the speed of a sentence. Narcissus has stopped being a secretary. He is now a hinge. Wide shot, piers, capstans, ropes black with salt. Close up, a litter arrives hard, bearers pant. Two women step down, Calpurnia and Cleopatra, concubines chosen for their voices, not their rank. Narcissus doesn't bring papers, he brings breath and tone. She has married, they say. The word hits bone. The emperor's tongue stalls on the consonants, the world tilts. Claudius can sign decrees, he cannot sign this away. Rigor sets the frame. Tacitus writes he was warned at Ostia, then rushed back under Narcissus's hand. Annals 11. Suetonius adds the clerk's chill, panic, orders, the donative to bind the Guardio Totals bodies and bribes. The angles differ, the axis matches. A freedman becomes momentum. The return is not imperial, it is a drag. Narcissus seizes the arm that signs Rome into being and pulls. The road from Ostia to the walls, dust, harness clatter, milestones like teeth. Messages fly ahead like sparks. Prefects hear a number before they hear a plea. Donative, loyalty priced and paid. The Castra Praetoria warms like a forge. Inside the camp, the ritual is stripped to wire. No Senate floridities, no forum thunder. A table, a chest, a list. Names read, nods given. Soldiers understand lists. They write reality with them. Silius, groom at noon, stands in dust by torchlight. He asks for a quick death because some requests still fit the ledger. The centurion's blade answers clean. The dust drinks a line. The hammer swings outward. Houses open before dawn. Doors shake under fist and boot. Men are taken from beds with the smell of sleep still on them. Not trials, closures. Suetonius will count ranks. Dio will count more. Numbers disagree on size, agree on speed. Bureaucracy turns carnivore. Back at the Palatine, Messalina runs the corridors that once obeyed her hand. The machine she fed with outrage has learned to eat without her freedmen who thrived in her shadow. Pallas, Callistus, go still, weigh outcomes, pick futures where they live. Complicity is coin until it isn't. Today, it buys silence and a place behind Narcissus's shoulder. Claudius reaches the castra at dusk. Lamps, spears, a mild man inside a wall of iron. He is emperor in title and evidence. The evidence is stacked in the chest, stamped in the lists. Drying on the stones, Narcissus speaks for him, because Narcissus can still breathe. He frames the betrayal as arithmetic. Wife subtracts throne. Groom subtracts heir. Guard adds stability. Steel agrees. Rigor again. Tacitus marks the public wedding. Annals record the rush, the executions, the command channeled through a freedman's mouth. The scene is not anomaly. It is Roman grammar. When process lags, person fills the gap. When person fails, freedman does. The Senate will vote afterward, as always, fluent in hindsight. Detail fixes memory. The sound of wax split under a stylus. The hiss when a brand meets a seal. The dry rasp of a sword drawn near paper. The smell is lamp smoke, leather, fear. The look on a prefect's face when the sum clears. Pay now. Live. Refuse. Die with a Latin epitaph. Narcissus accelerates because the system prefers velocity to shame. He does not moralize, he organizes. He will save the emperor, the line, the order, so he believes he forgets the house law older than edicts. A vacuum attracts predators. Today the hammer secures the hinge. Tomorrow the same hinge opens for someone colder. For now, the camp sleeps. The lists fold. The harbor resumes its counting song. Rome eats bread that night because a freedman ran faster than scandal, and the bill for speed begins to print in a darker ink. Night heaps on the ramparts. The Castra Praetoria breathes iron and oil. Torch smoke hangs like a low ceiling. In the yard, shields lean in files, spears tilt like reeds, and a table waits, planks on trestles, a chest beside it, a stylus laid across wax. Rome is a theater. The camp is a counting house. Here the empire chooses with numbers, not nouns. Wide shot, gates shut, watch posted, the city's noise pinned outside the wall. Close up, Narcissus standing where consuls used to stand, voice level, pulse steady. He does not bring eloquence, he brings pay. The word moves faster than grief. Donative pledged, coin to follow, safety priced in denarii. The prefect nods. The cohorts ripple once and set. Rigor frames the stage. Tacitus will write the rush and the rout. Silius seized, accomplices culled, the freedman speaking with the emperor's breath. Annals 11. Suetonius records the clerk's tally. Executions, orders at the camp. A senate that votes after the fact. Divus Claudius. Dio adds the arithmetic of aftermath. Heads and houses. The weight of bribes and fear. Dio 60. Angles differ. Hinge holds. The guard decides. The world pretends it was law. They bring the groom first. Gaius Silius, still handsome through dust, asks for the short death. Some petitions still travel. The centurion obliges one stroke. The yard drinks and the chest seems heavier. Then the lists open. Names incised in wax. The camp's scripture. Messengers sprint down avenues, knock doors to splinters, fetch men who wake with sleep still on their tongues. No speeches, only closures. Inside the walls the ritual is mechanized. Read a name, confirm a face, a nod, steal. The head drops from rumor into record. A scribe smooths warm wax and writes the next line. In one corner a soldier eats stale bread, watching blood pattern dust. He does not flinch. He takes notes in his bones. Tomorrow, he will remember who paid on time. The Senate is awake, but its voice arrives like wind after thunder. Fathers of the state rehearse outrage, then relief, then loyalty. They speak of morals when the counting is done. The camp hears and does not answer. It has already decided history and left rhetoric for the footnotes. Detail fixes to the senses, the scratch of the stylus, the clack of a helmet dropped onto a pile, the hiss when a hot seal touches tallow, the smell, lamp smoke, sweat trapped in leather, the sweet iron tang when a blade comes back clean. The justice here is not blind, it is indifferent. The metric is not guilt, it is stability. Rigor again. Numbers will quarrel. How many senators, how many knights, how many doors hammered before dawn. The sources agree on speed, and vector power moves along the path of least procedure. Narcissus is not judge. He is flow. He channels fear into order, bribes into oath, lists into outcomes. He believes he is saving a line. He is saving an hour. Toward dawn, the chest shuts. The table is cleared. The yard is sluiced with water that runs pink to the drains. The prefect reports the city quiet Claudius, inside the ring of spears, signs what is placed before him. He has regained command the Roman way by holding the purse and the men who hold the axes. The lesson is spare. Republics argue, camps decide. When a throne wobbles, the first stable surface is a trestle under torchlight. Donatives buy time. Lists create truth. Axes make memory. And a city that lets its army write the day in wax will read its future, carved in stone. Evening sinks over the Horti Luculiani, laurel notched by shears, fountains low. The air tastes of damp stone and myrtle. In a small shrine to fortune, a woman kneels, hair unpinned, veil torn. Valeria Messalina, Augusta, mother, she-wolf, has run out of corridors. The city breathes somewhere beyond the hedges. Inside, only gravel, water, and time. Wide shot, the garden wall, purple light bruising the sky. Close up, a bronze dagger in a mother's hand. Domitia Lepida does not embrace. She instructs, do it, she says, voice level. Make the end yours. The blade passes from mother to daughter. Fingers tremble. The edge kisses skin and waits. It is easier to order deaths than to own one. Rigor stands beside the path. Tacitus will set the scene. Annals 11. The gardens of Lucullus. Lepida urging suicide. A freedman of the palace, Evadus, sent by Narcissus. Soldiers to finish what Rome has decided. Suetonius will note the emperor's blank evening at the Castra Praetoria, dining while the machine cleaned his house. Dio will add the arithmetic of arrests and the quiet afterward. The angles differ. The hinge holds. Command travels fastest when it is not spoken. Footsteps on gravel. Cloaks brush hedge. Evadus enters first. Brisk, efficient. A man trained by offices rather than wars. Behind him a centurion and a handful of men with dust on their greaves. They look at a woman on the floor of a shrine and see not a person, but a remainder to clear. The freedman jeers. The ritual cruelty of clerks who finally hold steel. The centurion does not jeer. He has cut throats by moonlight and knows the weight of a moment. Now, Evadus says. Messalina lifts the dagger and cannot finish the line. Hands shake. Breath snags. Pride has nerves. They fail. Lepida does not look away. She has seen childbirth and funerals and the Senate play at both. Do it, she repeats, softer. Evadus grows impatient. Shame is not a line item. The centurion steps forward, one knee to pin, one hand to guide the blade aside. The gladius works like policy, short, sure, indifferent. Blood darkens the floor tiles. The shrine of fortune takes its offering without comment. The garden hears the end before the city does. Water continues. Crickets resume. A soldier wipes his sword on a piece of saffron veil and hands it back as if returning a tool. Lepida exhales, a long, flat sound. Evadus signals. The men go. There is paperwork to catch. Cut to the Castra Praetoria. Lamps, spears, a table with lists stacked like tiles. Claudius sits within the ring of iron and eats. He does not ask for details. He signs what is placed before him. Narcissus leans and murmurs that the matter is settled. The emperor nods and lifts his cup. Rigor again. The sources say that later, hours or a day, he wondered at dinner why the empress delayed memory slipped a stitch. Routine held the cloth. The moral geometry is simple and cold. Messalina gambled that spectacle could command structure. Narcissus proved that structure devours spectacle on schedule. A freedman carried the state faster than a senate could speak. A mother offered dignity. A soldier delivered certainty. The garden, built by a conqueror to taste Greek leisure, became an annex of the court. Night draws a lid over the hedges. Servants scrub stone. Somewhere a clerk engraves a line through a name. Rome congratulates itself on order restored, but the cut is higher than one throat. When a city learns that last orders travel best through gardens, It forgets the sound of law and remembers only the speed of footsteps on gravel. Year 48 slides into 49. Dawn over the forum tastes of dust. Ladders lean, ropes creak. Men with mallets climb like beetles across marble skin. Orders have run faster than grief. The Senate has spoken the old curse with new breath. Damnatio memoriae. And Rome prepares to forget by force. Wide shot, arches and bases lettered with triumphs. Close up, a mason's thumb black with lamp smoke as he traces Valeria Messalina in the stone, then taps a chisel under the first E. The blow is small. The sound is law. Flakes jump like fish. A name breaks into gravel. Rigor frames the scene. Tacitus places the decree after the executions. Condemnation, property seizures, honors revoked. Annals 11. Suetonius catalogues the emperor's blankness at the camp and the swift cleaning of the house. Gaius Claudius. Dio tallies confiscations and the quiet afterward. Deo 60. Angles differ. Instrument matches. Memory punished by labor. Teams spread. Capitoline, Palatine, theaters, baths. Scribae bring lists. Lictors clear space. Bronze statues are looped with hemp and levered from pedestals. They come down like felled trees, ringing the pavement. Faces take the worst of it. Eyes go first, then the mouth. A nose explodes under a hammer like a clay lamp. The artisans work without joy or zeal. They work the way the Tiber flows, because Rome has asked. In the mints, dies retire. Coins bearing the Augusta's profile vanish into crucibles. Silver shrieks when it dies. New issues show ships, aqueducts, Claudius's heavy neck, the repertoire of stability. In temple registries, a clerk draws a line through her feast days and writes aboleatur in a hand that has learned to be careful. Household shrines receive visits. Wax imagines are lifted from cupboards and melted down. Smoke curls from doorways like thin verdicts. The curse is thorough but never perfect. A base too high to reach today. A slab miscopied by a tired scribe. A fragment bricked into a later wall. Memory leaks like water through mortar. Yet the main theater is effective. The city walks past bruised pedestals and learns to speak around an absence. Homes count the cost in quieter rooms. A freedwoman who once fastened the Augusta's veil now keeps her eyes on her lap. A boy puzzles at a blank tablet where his copywork yesterday still traced Messalina in crooked letters. A senator's wife hides a cameo in a bread bin and tells no one, not even herself, why she cannot give it to the furnace. Fear smells of wet wool and extinguished wicks. The machine writes new lines to fill the gap. Claudius signs edicts in steady Latin. Cases heard, aqueducts mended, donatives paced. The Senate praises virtue as if speech could insulate stone. Agrippina begins to move in corridors like winter. The city exhales, then inhales differently. Absence has a climate. Rigor again. The Romans had a grammar for erasure. Names chipped from inscriptions. Portraits repurposed. Anniversaries struck. It is not piety. It is pedagogy. They teach by unseeing. The hammer is a schoolmaster. By dusk, the scaffolds come down. The forum looks the same to anyone who has never looked. To those who have, it looks like a mouth with a tooth knocked out and a gum smoothly healed. The lesson is colder than scandal. Rome punishes not only the body, but the story. And when a state learns to file history as easily as wax, law becomes a chisel that never truly leaves the hand. Year 49 turns the key again. Corridors cool, voices lower. A new figure walks where silk once flashed. Agrippina the Younger, Germanicus's daughter, Caligula's sister, Claudius's niece, moves like winter, direct, denser than rumor, colder than praise. She does not chase sensation. She calibrates. Wide shot, the Palatine in gray light, secretaries already scratching wax. Close up, a marriage that should be impossible. Niece to uncle the Senate files the law to fit the bed. Tacitus marks the statute. Suetonius adds murmurs. Dio shrugs in arithmetic. Incest by decree is not scandal. It is instruction. The machine shows its gears. Steps lock into sequence. Lucius Domitius Ahenobarbus becomes Nero by adoption, a name traded like a province. Octavia, Claudius's daughter, is knotted to him. Dynasty stitched to dynasty with legal thread. Seneca returns from exile to tutor the boy. Sentence bridling spark. Burrus takes the guard. Britannicus, true son, is moved to the shadow side of every room he grows. The room shrinks. Agrippina builds like an engineer. She takes the door. Audiences pass through her hand. She takes the image. Coins bear her profile. A woman's face issued like law. She takes the voice. Whispers that become rescripts by noon. Freedmen who fattened under Messalina test the new weather. Narcissus finds his lane narrowed to a plank. He saved a throne with speed. She keeps it with pressure. Rigor frames the hinge. Annals list the acts. Adoption, precedence, seats and salutations re-ranked. A mother placed one step beneath the emperor and one above the Senate Diototals, donatives, appointments. The metronome of order. Suetonius stores poison in a footnote and calls it mushrooms. Year 54. A dinner. Boleti served. Claudius the collector, who repaired more than he ruled, eats his last logic. He falters. The room edits Halotus serves. Locusta is rumored. Agrippina supervises silence. The emperor who outlived Messalina does not outlive method. Nero is hailed before the plates cool. The first winter wears a mask. Seneca's periods. Burrus at the hinge. A boy voice spent in mercy like coin. Then the house law asserts itself. Year 55. A cup for Britannicus. White fire down the throat. Collapse at table so the lesson is clean. Succession is not blood. It is control of cups. The room watches law become liquid. Accounts close. Narcissus pays the arrears of efficacy with his life. Efficiency cancels its own line. Octavia learns marriage is a hinge, not a sanctuary. Agrippina discovers that a son raised as a weapon keeps an edge. Her chair inches back from the dais, then from the door, then from breath. Oars at night wait further on. Rome, indifferent, continues. Grain reaches Ostia. Aqueducts run. Edicts cure petty fevers. The people cheer races. The Senate practices, faces the guard, counts. Stability returns because the hydraulics hum. It is not peace. It is momentum. The theorem is spare. Messalina proved spectacle cannot master structure. Agrippina proved structure can master spectacle for a time. Nero will prove that fire obeys only oxygen. The faces change. The grammar stays. And a city trained to kneel to its machinery will always wake to a new profile on the same coin, asking with a fresh mouth the old question, what will you pay to keep the gears turning?